Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to my YouTube channel that I have stranded since 1 month. We're in this getup because we're already in costume and we have already shot the monologue. I was searching some nice English monologues and I wanted to do it in British accent this time. And there was this one series that is called I May Destroy You. It is on Arabella, the character who is getting over her trauma of being raped and figuring things out mentally and emotionally and everything. And I then immediately found that series, and it's a mini series, so it's like 20-minute episodes and there are 12 episodes. And it was such an amazing watch, especially because the writer, the co-director, the main actor who plays Arabella, and I think the producer or executive producer is one person, a woman, and she's called Michaela Coyle. And it is such an amazing thing to witness that. The series is also written very beautifully and very nuanced. The main challenge in this was doing a British accent, and I am very persistent on learning this particular accent because I am exploring to see if there's any possibility for me to get work in that industry as well, along with trying in Hindi industry. And yeah, I actually have watched one or two British series like The Crown, Bridgerton, and movies like Pride and Prejudice, and a lot of British content I've watched. And then you kind of pick up certain things over the period of time of how they speak or what are the nuances. And then I also saw one or two YouTube videos of because British accent is not just a one accent. There's also many dialects in the same British accent, and it differs from region to region. Where you go from north to south, you go to Ireland, it becomes a completely different thing. But what I'm trying to do is learning RP, which is received pronunciation, which doesn't have any more nuances. It is next to the royal family's accent, and then it comes the London accent, if I'm not wrong. And many educated or well versed people linguistically, they speak it. So I'm trying to learn that. Yeah, I picked up some things. I took a long time to get comfortable and to get that speech out of my mouth in one go. But yeah, I did do it. Story, if I would like to tell you in short, is Arabella is a woman who, in the first episode, we found out that she was spiked, which means she was drugged while she was in a club, and then she was unconscious. And when she woke up next day, she gets these images of a man, and firstly, she thinks that someone within her group might be assaulted or raped, but then over the period of time, she realizes that it was her. And she's not very sure who raped her, how she was raped, but she reports that assault. And then over the period of the series, it is her journey of accepting things and feeling different things and things happening with her friends as well. And overall, how is the nature of trauma, which is that there's no one certain solution to it. Like we think ki we will find out the rapist will punish him and then that's the solution. But no, in many cases they are not found. She doesn't know who that person is. She doesn't remember. So then getting used to that fact, and a lot of things are involved. So that was the overall story. It is very interesting series. I would recommend you to watch it, and I loved how I discovered this one. I think it also got an Emmy for best writing. Emmy or BAFTA, one of the awards. Talking about the monologue. Monologue basically is when she is within a support group of a women who have experienced assault, rape and everything. And if you know support groups, people with certain similar experiences gather around and they share the feelings. And it's like when you hear some similar experienced people, you feel the humility, you feel humbled, and you feel that you are not alone. So these are the kind of support groups, and she's a part of one of them. What they're talking about is how the woman feels that there is something wrong that has happened to her, but she cannot really tell apart black or white that was was it wrong or was it right? Because there's a certain gray area where a lot of things happen and we can't really define certain things. And this monologue is about that we as women need to observe the men and tell them that we too see the details. We will observe you and we will tell you what it was that you did was wrong. Because generally in many of rape cases and assaults, this thing happens that the woman can't actually define what it was that was wrong, or it's not very clear. Women are in many cases gaslighted by men into believing that it was not intentional, or the intentions were not wrong and things like that. But a violation is a violation. And so that's what is communicated more or less in the similar words that I said in that monologue. And what is the most crucial was that she's telling it like she's venting out, and she is telling it with such passion and such belief that that was what she was, I mean, hiding or just burying inside her, or observing through her journey of getting over it or recovering from a traumatic incident. So this was brewing inside her, this feeling that she finally vented out with people who had experienced similar things. So that passion, or I would say the intensity, was very important for me. Now when I performed it and when I watched the original monologue, I felt she was a lot calmer. Now ideally you should not compare how she did, because that's not what we are aiming for. What I did was with a slight bit of aggression in it, but then my thing was that the aggression would come because there is a sense of frustration or anger or furiousness about that incident, because of course given the circumstances of how it happened and things like that, so it naturally came to me. So there was not anybody in front of me. I tried to imagine some of my friends who I'm telling, so that the intensity would come. Now where I think I could improve was imagining and visualizing things. Whatever happened, I'm not sure now. I also don't remember because it was a bit long ago that I recorded this. But I don't think I was actively visualizing while I was saying things. I mean, I had worked everything out, like what is the meaning, what is the subtext behind what line, and why is she saying that. I had that worked out and I had that done. So maybe I have done the work, but what I need to put in practice as an actor, as a growing artist or performer, is to actively visualize that thing. Because how much I remember, I visualized the present moment where I'm telling the girls, and somewhat in a hypothetical situation, how in general men do this, do that, but not that incident that happened with her. So that was one area that I think I could do better if I got better at this. Talking about the costume and everything, if you watch the series, woman from a African ancestry, so there's a certain headgear that she wears, so I try to keep that because it was a new look, aesthetically speaking, that I have not done ever. That look for character Arabella, she is in that look whenever she is in her most comfortable zone, like with her best friend, or generally African women or black women who have curly hair, they wear wigs, and most of them have very short hair or mostly like bald, and then they wear different kinds of wigs, and Arabella is the same, and after one point she also shaves her head. So that headgear is something like a accessory also for her, or something that she would wear on a regular basis, so I did keep that. And about the location, that was what I had actually, and it did work out nicely. It was a different setup and the lighting was good, so that it wasn't very intentional of related to the context of the scene, because the scene happens in a room. Visually it looked quite good, decent. So yeah, that was it. And I know I'm becoming very inconsistent with recording. Like, I have also put up one more monologue, but I have not recorded the vlog of it, and I do want to record it, and I will. But yeah, that was it. If you like this, do give it a subscribe. Keep supporting. I hope you like it, and keep giving feedbacks so that I could improve. Honest feedbacks. And yeah, thank you. Bye.